Hello, guys. I wanted to talk with you today about a recent CNN segment by by their host Brian Stelter. Um, he's he's the bald guy. If you're not familiar with him, that's the best description I can think to give. Um, I don't know of any other bald guys on CNN besides Brian Stelter. But with him, so he did this segment, a few days ago about big tech censorship and the importance of making sure that real news is being pushed more than fake news. He talks about the issue of the phrase freedom of reach versus freedom of speech came up a few times in his segment. So he talked about the idea being that your speech is like silencing someone isn't the same, or silencing or removing someone's statements isn't the same thing as deplatforming them. It's basically the difference between, like, he says censorship isn't the same as deplatforming. Getting tanked by the algorithms of YouTube or Twitter or Facebook isn't the same as them actually censoring you, which is ridiculous, because one way or another, your speech is being restricted. Whether your ability to compete with other, like, if you talk about news, and even if what you say is patently false, or even if it isn't, if you're a mainstream news network, you're going to get better coverage, even on social media platforms such as YouTube. If you watch YouTube and you follow unconventional news, if you follow people who aren't part of a major news network, you'll often have, like, let's say you have your autoplay on. A lot of your videos are going to be followed by if you watch the Young Turks, you'll probably be followed by something from like CNN or MSNBC. I know it's happened to me where I get followed by CNN or Fox News or John Oliver is a common one. So he argues that these big tech companies are already too powerful, and yet he advocates for the restriction of reach of of sources of misinformation and radicalization, any other negative thing you could think of that these fringe news sources are providing, that it's damaging. So he argues in favor of free speech, but against free reach. I don't know if that doesn't come out quite right. Freedom of reach. So he sounds against. He makes a tepid argument in favor of free speech, but seems to differentiate that from freedom of reach, which as far as I'm concerned, they're the same thing. I mean, they're two different. There are different ways to censor somebody. Not everything is about, hey, you're not allowed to say that on this platform. You're not allowed to. There's different ways to censor somebody. And in the case of CNN, they're arguing that Fox News is one of these sites that need. Fox News is an organization. They go as far as to say Fox News needs to experience freedom of reach limitations as well. I don't know if he's advocating for YouTube to bury Fox News in the algorithm. I don't know what he's arguing for. I mean, Fox News' money is as green as CNN's or anybody else's. And even Fox News isn't as far down the right-wing rabbit hole as your One American News network or a lot of other options you can find online. So he's basically saying that CNN and MSNBC are good, Fox News is bad, Tucker Carlson is bad, which is ridiculous because Tucker Carlson doesn't. He does okay journalism. I prefer Tucker Carlson to most other. It's a little hard for me to say because I mostly watch the videos of Tucker Carlson I want to watch on YouTube. I don't really seek out his hour-long monologues. Although if he's as radical and dangerous as Brian Stelter seems to think, maybe I should pay a little bit more attention. I don't think that he really thinks that through. People like me, my mentality is that as soon as somebody says, don't trust that guy, don't trust that news source, I'm going to start to pay a little bit more attention to that news source, especially if this is coming from CNN. So I don't understand where he comes up with this kind of argument of freedom of speech versus freedom of reach, but it's asinine to say that you can categorize censorship. You can categorize censorship into attacks on free speech and attacks on things that are appropriate, such as outreach on a platform. How far you can reach on a platform. They're both forms of censorship, which means they both infringe on freedom of speech. So we're going to have to respectfully disagree, Mr. Stelter. Thank you.